Agent Colin Reese stood at the edge of the mine shaft, the cold air whispering secrets from its depths. The hum, once faint, now resonated through the ground, vibrating up his legs and settling deep into his bones. He glanced back at the sealed chamber, its entrance marked with caution tape and guarded by 2 silent agents. The pod inside remained empty, its purpose, its creator, still a mystery clawing at the edge of Reese's mind. Back in Mapleton, fear had taken root. Whispers of Emily Wade's strange return and sudden second disappearance spread like wildfire through the small town. Neighbors locked their doors at dusk. Church sermons wove warnings into their hymns, and Marlene Wade sat by her window in the dark. The battered notebook pressed her chest. The red excess inside haunted her. Each marked home wasn't random. They belonged to families she knew, faces she had smiled at in grocery store aisles, people who had sat next to her in the old church pews. And now, something was hunting them. At exactly 3:33 a.m., the town's power flickered. Streetlights dimmed to a sickly amber before sputtering out completely. A low-frequency hum, almost inaudible, pressed against the town like an unseen tide. Dogs barked furiously, then whimpered into silence, somewhere beyond the neat rows of houses. Deep in the woods near Devil's Switchback, pale blue orbs danced between the trees, moving with unnatural, purposeful grace. In a makeshift command center, Reese reviewed satellite footage captured during the blackout. An electromagnetic burst had lit up the night sky, centered exactly over Mapleton. Overlaying the data with Emily's map, Reese's stomach tightened. The epicenters of interference perfectly matched the excess. It wasn't random. It was a sequence. Determined, Reese assembled a small team to investigate the marked homes. What they found made his skin crawl. Scorched electronics, warped metal fixtures, and in one case, an entire wall pulsing faintly with residual heat. The most chilling discovery lay in a child's bedroom. Etched with almost surgical precision into the floorboards was the same impossible symbol Emily had drawn over and over. Meanwhile, in a classified facility, scientists continued their analysis of the metallic specks embedded in Emily's spinal cord. Under specific sound frequencies, the specks aligned themselves, forming three-dimensional projections of the symbol. But when the researchers exposed the material to a different frequency, one just barely perceptible to human ears, it triggered another reaction, a faint synchronized pulse, as if something somewhere was answering back. Reese's phone buzzed urgently. A contact in Montana relayed grim news. Another child had vanished from his backyard during a power outage, only to reappear days later, disoriented, barefoot, and carrying a crescent-shaped scar behind his right ear. The pattern was repeating, but faster now, and closer. Back in Mapleton, Marlene Wade made her own grim discovery. While packing Emily's things, she noticed a scuffed panel behind the headboard of her daughter's bed. Hidden inside was a device, small, metallic, pulsating softly with an internal, unnatural light. The moment Marlene touched it, the room seemed to fall away. A vision gripped her. An enormous underground chamber stretching into blackness, rows upon rows of pods, each containing a slumbering figure. She saw Emily among them, her eyes wide open, terrified, pleading. Above her, the same swirling symbol rotated slowly, humming with malevolent energy. Marlene gasped, the device falling from her trembling hands. It shattered on the wooden floor, releasing a pulse of blinding blue light that threw her across the room. When she regained consciousness, the device was gone, disintegrated, and where it had landed, a fresh symbol was now seared into the floorboards, smoking faintly. The symbol was different this time, a spiral, bleeding outward into sharp, jagged lines, like cracks in glass. When Reese arrived at the Wade house, he found Marlene pale and shaking, unable to speak. But the symbol told him all he needed to know. Whatever was happening wasn't just continuing. It was escalating. The message was clear. Phase 2 had begun. Desperation gnawed at Reese's mind. The red excess were a countdown, and the town was running out of time. He ordered evacuation protocols, but it was already too late. The ground beneath Mapleton was shifting. The next night, at precisely 3:33 a.m., the hum returned, stronger than ever. Windows rattled. Water rippled in glasses. And then the earth itself seemed to inhale. Cracks spiderwebbed across the streets. Trees bent against a wind that didn't blow. From the old devil's switchback trail, a column of blinding white light shot into the sky. Seen for miles around, Reese, helmeted and in full tactical gear, led a convoy toward the source. As they neared the trailhead, vehicles sputtered and died. Radios became static. Watches froze at 3:33 a.m. They would have to continue on foot. The trail, once familiar, was unrecognizable. The granite had melted, reshaped into smooth, bone-white paths leading deeper into the woods. The pale orbs floated ahead, seemingly guiding them toward the shaft. But it wasn't the same. There had once been a vertical drop. There was now a massive opening, like a wound torn in the earth. Reese peered down into the blackness and saw movement, not one, but dozens of shapes, slender and inhuman, walking around with unnatural grace. Their skin shimmered like oil under moonlight. At their center floated a figure, smaller, fragile, barefoot, light brown hair, tangled around a face, both human and wrong. It was Emily. Her ocean gray eyes were gone, replaced with the same pure, blinding white as the symbols. Reese raised his weapon, his voice breaking as he shouted her name. Emily tilted her head, listening, and then impossibly she smiled, not out of joy, but recognition. Behind her, more pods rose from the ground, splitting open like grotesque flowers, releasing more figures, each bearing the same crescent scar behind their ear. The ground trembled beneath Reese's boots as a deep, resonant voice, felt, not heard, rippled through the air. Assimilation complete. The last thing Reese saw before darkness swallowed the trail was Emily stepping forward and the earth splitting wide open at her feet.